everyone. Coach Dax Cordero here for Weaponized Boxing, where we take boxing techniques and fundamentals and translate them into weapons fighting, particularly knife fighting, stick fighting, and improvised weapons. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about head movement. So far, we've established that head movement can play a very important role in your boxing and knife defense. Okay? But more than that, it can also play a very integral role in your offense. A perfect example in boxing of someone using head movement to launch his attacks would be Mike Tyson, okay? Who would use his peekaboo style to launch his very powerful attacks. Okay? So, same thing with knife, all right? You can use head movement actually in at least a couple of ways, all right? One, okay, would be to close distance, right? If you were a static fighter, okay, with not much head movement or lateral movement, and you just move forward and back, you can be very predictable because your opponent's attention will be focused mainly on your knife and your feet, okay? And he will see right away if you're moving forward or back, and he can adjust accordingly. When you incorporate head movement to that, as well as lateral movement, okay, it's going to be much more difficult for him to discern whether or not you're trying to move forward or back. Okay? Okay. Also, as you try to inch and close the distance, head movement will allow you to be much less of a target than somebody who's just moving straight forward. Okay? So close the distance using head movement, okay, and also sidestepping. All right, that's one. Okay, the second way that head movement is useful for your offense is also by creating feints with your head movement. Okay, so if you are a static knife fighter, okay, again, attention will be focused solely on this. Okay. But if you employ head movement, lateral movement, okay, very difficult for your opponent to zero in on what you're trying to do. Okay, okay, so launch your attacks, okay, from anywhere you want, okay, as opposed to just being linear and moving forward and back. Okay, so two ways, right? Closing distance and also creating feints to launch your attack. Now, a good way to train, okay, your head movement would be a maze bag. We showed you this before, okay? But rather than just incorporating head movement, you also have to incorporate your offense, okay? So, as opposed to just merely, okay, avoiding, okay, you have to incorporate your offense as well, okay? Same thing with the knife, right? Okay, so incorporate your head movement as well as your pivots and your weaves, as well as your counters and attacks. Okay. Head movement for offense.